Well, good evening, Dirtfish Rally friends. It's the end of day one here at Rally Finland. And where are we this evening? Well, look at this lovely view behind us. We're in the service park in Paviljonki on top of the Secto Hospitality Unit. We're just catching our breaths, to be honest with you. It has been a dramatic opening day here on the stages of Finland. A number of things to talk about. We're going to come to it, involving Tanak, involving Takamoto Katsuta, Esa-Pekka Lappi, Sammy Pajari, so much to talk about. But David Evans, let's start off by talking about the man who leads at the end of day one. And I think we kind of all expected him to lead, but that doesn't tell the whole story.
Well, we didn't expect him to lead at lunch. Well, at lunchtime it was a little bit negative. He was a little bit rude, wasn't he, about that car setup?
He was.
A little bit. But came back here lunchtime, settled things down. I think this afternoon the weather was marginally more settled as well. It was maybe a wee bit more grip out there. He just came to terms with the car, didn't he? And everything just was a little bit more comfortable for Kalle Rovanperä this afternoon. He's just starting to inch clear. We saw this time last year, didn't we? He started to move that little bit clear from Elvin. Maybe he's starting to do that again. It
was a good day.
A great
day.
No
question.
In short, Cole, great Kalle day.
It was a great Kalle day, but Brenten, we kind of expected it, as I said, particularly when we saw that weather this morning, because he is the master of making the most of difficult conditions. He's shown us it before.
It took him a second to warm up, though. Like he did have some issues with the surface, but warmed up, might be back on a heater.
Back on a heater. I'm loving the American phrases, I really am. We caught up with Kalle Rovanperä at the end of day one.
I would say a bit better, definitely, than in the morning. I think if we would have had this in the morning, we could have done a quite much better job. But anyway, the afternoon was better than the morning look.
Expecting a big fight tomorrow. Within the team, you'll be allowed to fight?
Have you ever heard we are not allowed to fight?
Never.
So we are.
We reckon that potentially the team could slow you down a bit tomorrow night, let Elvin past, get Saturday night points, and then you can come back past on Sunday. Is that a plan?
That sounds quite wild.
Possible, though.
Possible.
If we are in that situation that we would be leading, I'm sure it's not possible from my side. I don't think in this kind of rally you want to give anything away.
So Rovanperä does lead at the end of day one. It's far from an enormous lead. Although, is it, David? It's just round about 10 seconds from Elvin Evans. Is that a big lead? Normally we would say no, but it's Finland.
I think he would like more, Cole, wouldn't he? I think
everyone wants more.
Everybody wants more.
They do.
But I think that the point here is, we've said this time and again, a 10-second lead in Finland is like a 30-second lead anywhere else.
Yes.
Elvin is far from out of this.
Yeah.
Absolutely far from out of it. What he needs to do tonight is he needs to decide how much do you want to risk. He's got Saturday points Friday, Saturday points at the end of tomorrow. He's the one chasing the championship.
Yeah.
Tanak gone. Neville behind him. He's got an opportunity here to make good points. Does he risk chasing Kalle? For me, this is so difficult. I was just going to say, this is the one where they need to say to Kalle, right, slow down, let him through, and maybe they can do that. On Saturday night, they could do that.
I think they do. They made an absolute catastrophic error in Latvia.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous that Takamoto Katsuta took 2 manufacturer points off them.
Totally.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now it could be the time. Okay, we can't really talk about it on a Saturday. But
You can because Saturday he can slow down.
Sorry, of course we can. By the end of the day,
Yeah.
we have to consider that.
They can slow him down, let Elvin go
Yeah.
P1 on Saturday
Yeah.
night, then Elvin can let him back through on Sunday. Kalle can win the rally.
Elvin
Elvin can
scores
take
the
the
most
18
points.
points on
Are
Saturday.
you keeping up with this, Brenten? It's all very complex, isn't it?
Yeah, the point system, like we've talked about from the beginning of the year, has been very confusing, and it seems like it's gotten more confusing even for the team, seeing that big mistake last event with
Terrible.
Taka.
Who have we got in third place at the end of day one? Well, it's Seb Ogier. He wouldn't have liked those conditions out there this morning. He comes to Finland, a rally he's only won once. He wants predictable, he wants consistent conditions out there. They were far from it. I was impressed by Ogier's drive today.
He's understood where to push, where to come back a little bit. Ultimately, Sebastian Ogier wants to win this rally, desperately wants to win this rally, but he's not in a position where he has to take that ultimate risk. He's got a Rally Finland win. He wants to, but one's better than none, and it's better than chucking it in the trees tomorrow. So, what will he do? I think, for me, 20 seconds is an awful lot to make of on pace alone, particularly tomorrow's stages, which, there's no such thing as a slow stage, but the roads tomorrow are so quick, aren't they?
But with what he was telling us before the event, thinking about going for the rest of the season, it's kind of his opportunity to attack and get those extra points.
Maybe. It's going to be a fascinating day tomorrow. This is what Sebastian Ogier thought of today's stages. Oh, Sam, a difficult day out there in terms of the conditions, but what did you make of your performance today?
I let you are the specialist to rate drivers, right? So that's your job. But
you always get 10 from me, you know that.
No, I never. I not always get 10, and I don't want to have always 10. Nobody's perfect, but I'm pleased with this day. It could have been a bit better, but still very decent performance for my return here on those roads, and first time here with the Rally 1. So it's quite okay, especially as the conditions were very challenging. So I'm glad also to be here as it was easy to do a mistake today.
But what about Hyundai? Well, their leading driver is Thierry Neuville. Long way off the lead, too far off the lead. What can he do, David? He's in fourth place, 25 or so seconds off the lead. What's his approach for tomorrow?
He's got to stay. It's everything we said before the event, Colin. He's just got to stay there. He's just got to essentially contain the time loss, limit the damage, and particularly now, with his two teammates gone, he has to finish this event, doesn't he? Because, if he doesn't,
of course he does.
Then suddenly Toyota takes a massive leap forward in manufacturers. So the pressure is kind of gone from Thierry now. Forget chasing the win, just get this thing to the finish and as I say, limit the damage.
And let's talk about a huge positive before we talk about quite a number of negatives. Sammy Pajari, what a day he has had out there. First stage of the day, do you know what, we talked to him actually before the first stage and he seemed nervous. Lots of testing in that Rally 1 car, but 0 kilometres of testing in wet, slippery conditions. He seemed nervous, went into the first stage, made a mistake, but my goodness me, he drove beautifully then to bring the car back to service, and then the afternoon, David.
I've got to say, before you say any more, Colin, I have to say great credit to you for chasing Sammy Pajari down ahead of the first stage this morning. I was saying to BK here, we've got to give this up. We've got to give this up. Poor Sammy had walked away. He'd seen Colin coming and he pulled his hood up and he'd walked away. Colin didn't let him off. And it was great because we got some really good words from both Sammy and from Ennie. And in some ways, it was the worst possible start. But I wanted to ask him a little bit more at lunchtime because, when you've had that mistake, sometimes it just takes the pressure away. Okay, I've had a spin. I've lost the rear wing. At the moment, kind of not quite on the floor, but I'm down there. The only way is up now. And then by the end of the day, my goodness me.
A second fastest time, Brenten, through the first stage, I think it was this afternoon.
The very stage he'd gone off on.
Absolutely. He goes to Ruimaki, one of the most famous stages in the world, the best final section of any stage in the world, and he wins it, his 7th stage in a Rally 1 car. Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Seeing the pressure that he was feeling this morning, seeing the pressure he was feeling yesterday, we saw him in the hotel lobby with his hood up, same concept, walking away, not wanting to talk, and then coming out of the gate hot, a little too hot, losing the wing.
Is he on a heater?
He's on
a chiller this morning.
He's on a chiller. And then, we were sitting in the media lounge, the media center there, and hearing the crowds roar as he came across to get the stage win was awesome.
I think Finns are not so good in emotions, or describing the emotions, so I think it's not so easy to say. Like, for the moment, of course, there is a big relief, just really nice feeling, like in general. So for the moment, I would like not to think too much about the morning, but I think that also makes like a nice story that kind of never give up. So just keep refocus and keep pushing.
We know that you and Ennie make the most incredible team, and we all really enjoyed that moment when you realised you'd taken your first win. It's so important, isn't it, to have such a strong bond with your co-driver and just to enjoy those moments.
Yeah, exactly. For me personally, this is still okay, it's the dream to be here, but it's I like to have fun, and it's not. Of course, it's really serious business on this level, but still I like to take it the funny way.
Well, a few drivers who won't be bouncing back. Let's talk Oyt Tanak to start off with. Guys, is that the end, David? The end of his championship challenge? It was an awfully big crash. I have to say, there were concerns about, in particular, Martin Jarvioja after that accident. But the good news is he's fine. They're keeping him in hospital, but he's absolutely fine. David, is it the end of his championship?
I think we have to wait till Sunday, don't we? Because
he's not coming back.
No. But who's to say that both Evans and Thierry don't retire and have similar? It puts a massive hole in his championship challenge. It really does. There's still 4 rounds to go. And they're very, very difficult events to come, but it's difficult. It's really difficult. You've got to say it is. Yeah, it's not
really,
really
really difficult for him. It's such a shame because he was absolutely.
I think. Sorry to add, Colin, he was, and it's the fact that it's the psychology of 2 crashes in 3 rallies and 2 fairly hefty shunts as well. After the Estonia crash.
After the Deer as well. The Deer before that he hit in Poland.
Yeah.
It's been an awful
difficult.
run.
He is struggling. He's not struggling, but he is taking a lot, isn't he, right now? Really he's not catching a break. And, okay, that was a mistake today, but it's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough. Brenten, what about Takamoto Katsuta? He was looking good this morning. I think he was sitting in 4th place. First pass of Ruumaki, got it wrong into a left-hand corner, went wide, smacked a tree. There's a pattern there, sadly, right now for Takamoto. What have they got to do to try and get that guy performing consistently and getting regular results for them? It's a tough one, isn't it?
Might be a little bit of a mentality change there. We talked to Taka on the side of the road, almost made it back to the service area when that wheel finally broke off. He said, I made a mistake. There's nothing different than that. So, maybe change own a little bit of his mentality. We'll see. There's a few different angles you could take there, but
I think they have to do something different, don't they? Because every time he's made a mistake, they seem to have treated him a little bit with kid gloves, and he's made the right noises. He's come back, had a rally or 2 that's been decent, and then made a mistake again. Now the other driver who's had a really difficult afternoon is Pekka Lappi. Again, a wheel off, but properly ripping a wheel off in the second running of the Lauka stage. Yeah, what can we say about Lappi? He had a terrible outing in Latvia, not really his fault.
But I think the only one that we can talk to here is BK, because you've driven in ruts. You know what it's like when the car pops out.
It was bad luck. Was it?
No, is it though, Cole?
I don't know.
Well, let's ask the man who knows.
I mean, looking at the video, it looked like he kind of just got caught out. Those ruts were ridiculous. You walked through those ruts. You almost tripped walking through them, right?
You almost needed hiking gear to get through them. So they were ridiculously deep.
It's hard to say. I would say he might just be having a streak of bad luck. Not having the best performance last event, not having the test before the last event, not having a test before this event. Yeah,
everybody else controls their car through there.
Yeah, that's true, but those ruts were tricky. Like in the words of Ari, the banana peel is waiting for anyone around the corner, and sometimes it gets you. And as a driver's perspective, sometimes it just gets you. And that's kind of what I'm seeing there.
So what about our M Sport drivers then? Well, Adrian Formeau, your friend, Brento, so we'll start with you. A tough morning for him. Made a few remarks, a few little pointed comments about no testing and making it so difficult. But he's bounced back. He's found something he's comfortable with.
After that first loop, he did say he was going to make a lot of changes to the rear, changing as much as he could, as I think was the quote. Probably some suspension stuff, some spring rates, stuff like that. And like you said, he's found a little bit more pace.
Moving on to WRC2. Listen, there was drama in the Rally 1 class. There was certainly drama out there in WRC2. But Oliver Solberg is the one who's negotiated those difficult conditions in the Rally 2 car the best. Again, he has been impressive.
All right, 6th overall here last year. He's picked up where he left off, and great day.
But Brento, the man that surprised me, and he really has surprised me, and I'm going to offer an apology to Jari Matti.
It's the old boy.
It's the old boy. He's been really good out there today.
Yeah, he kind of undersold himself yesterday when we talked to him at the beginning. We asked him where he pictured to be, and he said it's just kind of a test event for the car, more development. That's kind of been his whole thing this year, is developing that car a little bit more. And he kind of sandbagged us a little bit, and he's coming out of the gate hot. He's on a heater.
He's on a heater.
I think I'm beginning to understand this on a heater thing now. So what an opening day we have seen here on Rally Finland, Brento. It's the big one tomorrow. It's Onimpoja.
The legend is back.
Keep an eye out tomorrow morning, folks, for our Onimpoja video. The legend of Onimpoja. We produced that video in association with Secto. We had Heikki Kovalainen with us to make that film. It really is worth watching. Have a look on our YouTube channel for that one. Folks, thank you very much for joining us here from day one of Finland. It has been a memorable day. What more can we expect tomorrow with the legend of Onimpoja?